How to let go of reactive energies and live from peace. Notice the automatic reactions that run your life. Have you ever noticed how automatically you respond to certain situations? Someone says something that triggers you, and before you know it, you're reacting in ways that you might later regret. This automatic pattern of reaction is something everyone experiences, but these reactions aren't as natural or spontaneous as they seem, and there's a way to break free from them. The ability to respond consciously rather than react automatically is at the heart of spiritual growth. Without it, we're like machines, programmed to respond in predictable ways based on past experiences. But there's another way to live. Stay centered and aware, no matter what's happening around you. The most essential element of spiritual growth is the ability to remain present and aware in each moment, rather than being swept away by reactive patterns. Think about the last time someone said something upsetting. Between hearing their words and responding, what happened? For most people, there's an almost instant reaction, a shift in energy, thoughts arising, emotions stirring, and then words or actions flowing from that disturbed state. But what if that small space between stimulus and response could expand? What if you could stay conscious and centered even as reactive energy starts to stir within you? This is entirely possible. It begins in meditation, but the real practice happens in daily life, in your conversations, your challenges, your ordinary moments. Every interaction becomes a chance to choose presence over reaction. Understand what reactive energy really is. When something happens in the outside world, a comment, a change, a moment, it triggers a change in your internal energy. That energetic shift creates a tendency towards certain thoughts, emotions, and actions. These reactions often feel natural or spontaneous, but they're not. They're deeply conditioned responses based on your personal history. 10 people could react 10 different ways to the same situation, depending on their past experiences and emotional patterns. When you say, "I couldn't help reacting that way," what's really happening is that your past programming is running the show. But there's a liberating truth here. You can become aware of these patterns, and in that awareness, you reclaim your power to choose a different path. Stop recreating the same patterns over and over. Reactive patterns don't just influence your inner world, they shape your reality. When you react from anger, you tend to create more anger around you. When you react from fear, you often draw in situations that mirror that fear. Here's how it happens. An event triggers a reaction. That reaction leads you to respond a certain way. Your behavior then affects how others respond to you, often confirming the original story you believed. But what's actually happening is that your reaction shaped the outcome. This is the cycle that keeps people stuck. The real shift begins when you stop trying to change the outer world and start using it as a mirror. Every triggering person or situation is a teacher, pointing to a place inside that's still caught in old energy. Practice non-reaction and reclaim your power. When reactive energy arises, the most powerful thing you can do is pause. Non-reaction isn't about suppression. It's about feeling everything fully without being ruled by those feelings. You might feel a strong urge to speak or act from a reactive place, but you don't have to. That pause is where freedom lives. It gives you the power to act from clarity rather than compulsion. This practice shows up in everyday situations, like an awkward silence in a conversation or a moment when someone says something that triggers you. Your body may tighten, your mind may race, but you can stay with the experience, allowing it to pass through you without being hijacked by it. And when you do choose to speak or act, your response comes from grounded awareness rather than old programming. Another essential part of this practice is taking ownership of your reactions. Instead of blaming others, "They made me feel this way," the shift is recognizing, "This is my reaction based on my pattern." That shift alone is a huge step toward liberation. Trust the unfolding instead of trying to control it. When you stop reacting, something unexpected happens. Life begins to unfold more naturally and harmoniously. You're no longer interfering with reality. You're allowing it to move through you. This is like letting a flower bloom. You don't pull on the petals. You create the conditions for growth and let nature take its course. It means not running from discomfort and not grasping at control. It means trusting the deeper wisdom of life, even when it's unfamiliar or uncomfortable. And from this place, action still happens, but it comes from alignment rather than resistance. This is when grace shows up, situations resolve, relationships shift, new opportunities emerge. Life unfolds with an intelligence greater than anything your mind could plan. Live from freedom, not reaction. When you stop being ruled by automatic reactions, you discover a deeper joy, a peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. You stay grounded even in chaos. You respond with wisdom instead of fear. You stop being pulled into drama, and instead, you become the calm presence in the storm. This isn't about perfection. It's about practice. Notice when reactive energy arises. Stay with it. When you do fall into reaction, observe it without judgment. Learn from it. Over time, you'll notice more space, more choice, and more freedom. You'll start to live not from your past, but from presence. And in that space, you'll discover the life your soul has been waiting to live.